We begin here. The South African Human Rights Commission's legal head, Boang Jones, could be in trouble. He's being investigated for his alleged controversial comments into the Commission's probe of Springbok lock Eben Etzebeth. Now, Etzebeth is accused of using a racial insult at a pub in Langebaan in the Western Cape. Now, Jones is believed to have told community members that the Commission would stop Etzebeth's alleged bad behavior. Now, the South African Human Rights Commission chairperson, Advocate Bongani Majola, joins us from our Pretoria studios to discuss this. Mr. Majola, thank you very much for your time. So what is the Human Rights Commission unhappy about in relation to the conduct of your legal head, Boang Jones?
Good morning, Polly. Thank you very much for this very valuable opportunity that you're giving to the Human Rights Commission. First of all, I'd like just to explain that the Human Rights Commission is not prejudiced, and it's not prejudiced against Mr. Etzebeth. And we would like him to get a fair trial like any other person that we have taken action against in the Equality Court. We are, of course, very concerned about the statements alleged to have been made by Mr. Jones. On Monday, the Commission met urgently, and we decided that we are going to do an urgent investigation into those statements, and then to see what action will follow into that. Yesterday already I instructed the Chief Executive Officer to do that investigation, and we would like to get all the statements that he is alleged to have been made and the context thereof, and then we decide what we're going to do. As I say, we are quite concerned about the statements. In the meantime, we have said that there should be no more media commentary on the case of Etzebeth. He shouldn't go to the media anymore. But in any case, our principles are that once we're filed, then we do not continue making media commentaries. But we've asked him not to do that in order to enable us to investigate and then come to the decision, including whether or not what his role should be, his future role should be in the case.
Mr. Majola, I think it's quite easy to read between the lines. Has Mr. Jones prejudged this situation? Has he allowed his emotions to take over?
Well, it's very hard for me to come to a conclusion when the board of the Commission has said, let's investigate his conduct or his alleged statements in order exactly to come to that conclusion whether or not he has prejudged the matter. You must remember that the matter is actually before the Equality Court. He is not going to be deciding the matter. But the judges of the Equality Court will be deciding the matter. However, nevertheless, as the Commission, we feel quite concerned about the alleged statements because we are required by the Constitution to maintain impartiality in every matter that we are doing.
Let me ask you this question then. Are you not worried that you are going to suffer a backlash with some saying you are diverting attention away from the core of what this issue is about, and that is whether or not Eben Etzebeth is indeed guilty of what he's being accused of?
Well, we have a worry of some sort, but not to a large extent, because we are not going to be the one who are judging the case of Mr. Etzebeth. It's going to be the judges. It will be the Equality Court that will do that. And we are going to present the evidence in the fullest extent available. And we will then leave it to the judges to decide whether or not he is guilty. So while he is presumed to be innocent, we certainly do not condone any racial slurs and so on of whatever kind as the Commission, and we'll do the best we can to fight that. And we've got a lot of cases that we have done to show that this is our focus on fighting racism in the country. So if it is proved that he did make those statements, then of course he must he must take the consequences thereof.
Just as a final question to you, Mr. Majola. So Boang Jones, as you've already explained, he is barred from making any further comments in relation to this particular case. But have you had a word with him? I know investigation is going to ensue, but have you had a word with him about why he made these comments? Because these were comments that were attributed to him, that he is mentioned saying that Etzebeth has been getting away with murder. Whilst at the same time, he was not alone actually in addressing that community. Chris Nissen was also there. He belongs to your organization. What exactly happened?
Well, I haven't had a word with him at all on this matter. You should remember that the day-to-day affairs of the Commission are run by a secretariat. I have instructed the Chief Executive Officer, who is the head of the secretariat, to have a word with Mr. Jones, not only about one statement, but I think we should do a full investigation, as the board said on Monday. And then after that, we will then come to the conclusion as to what happened, who did what, and so on. Yes, of course, Commissioner Nissen was there, but I haven't heard any allegation that he made any untoward statements during those meetings.
All right, we'll leave it there for the moment. That was the South African Human Rights Commission Chairperson, Advocate Bongani Majola.